I'm sitting here in my living room, staring at the envelope in my hands. It's thick, official looking, the kind that comes from the insurance company after you've cashed in something you never thought you'd touch. Inside is a check for $25,000, the full surrender value of the retirement annuity my late husband Robert and I built over 30 years. The same $25,000 I handed over to my son Marcus 6 months ago for the down payment on his family's new house. My fingers trace the edges of the check. It's made out to me, Dolores Marie Evans, age 71, not to Marcus, not to his wife Tasha, just me. And for the first time in a long while, that feels right. I can still hear the excitement in Marcus's voice from that day in my kitchen. "Mama, we found it, the perfect house, 4 bedrooms, big backyard, quiet street. The kids are gonna love it, but we need 25 grand for the down payment. I swear, Mama, soon as my promotion comes through, I'll pay you back every cent. And you'll have your own room, the one with the French doors opening to the garden. You always said you wanted to wake up to flowers." I believed him. Lord help me, I believed every word. I signed the papers that same week, watched the money leave my account and land in his. I even helped pack boxes when they closed on the house, folding tiny onesies for my grandbabies and imagining Christmases with all of us under one roof. But dreams have a way of crumbling when you're not looking. It started small, little excuses. "The house is still a mess, Mama. Painters are coming next week." Then, "Tasha's mama is visiting for a bit, helping with the kids while we settle in." Then, nothing. Weeks of silence, broken only by quick phone calls where Marcus sounded rushed, distracted. "We're good, Mama, just busy. Love you." I told myself it was normal. Young families get caught up in their own lives. I kept sending cards to the grandkids, dropping off homemade pound cake on the porch when no one answered the door. I didn't push. Mothers don't push. Until last Thursday. I'd driven over unannounced with a trunk full of groceries, things I knew they liked but probably couldn't afford yet on one salary. The new house sat pretty on its corner lot, fresh paint gleaming under the afternoon sun. I could see the garden through the side gate, rose bushes already blooming, a patio set arranged just so. My heart swelled. This was the future I'd paid for. The front door was cracked open, probably to let in the breeze. I knocked lightly, then pushed it wider. Voices drifted from the kitchen, Marcus's deep laugh, Tasha's lighter one, and another voice I recognized immediately, Tasha's mother, Evelyn. I froze in the foyer, groceries still in my arms. "And the garden room is perfect for Mama. She loves flowers, always has. Those French doors, she'll sit out there every morning with her coffee." My breath caught. "Yeah," Marcus answered, warm and easy. "It's settled then. Miss Evelyn gets the garden room, the kids can share the bigger bedroom upstairs, and we'll turn the smallest one into a home office for Tosh." A pause. Then Tasha. "What about your Mama?" Another laugh from Marcus, this one shorter, almost embarrassed. "Mama's fine where she is. Her apartment's paid off, close to her church friends. Besides," he lowered his voice, but not enough. "You know how she is, always fussing about something. The thermostat, the way we discipline the kids, what we feed them. It's better this way, more peaceful." "Peaceful," Tasha repeated, satisfied. "Exactly. We worked hard for this house. We deserve peaceful." I stood there in the hallway, arms aching from the grocery bags, heart splintering into pieces too small to name. The house I paid for, the garden room I'd pictured myself in, sitting with my morning tea, watching butterflies while my grandchildren played nearby, was being given to Evelyn. And I was what? A problem to be managed? An inconvenience to avoid? I backed out quietly, left the groceries on the porch, and drove home with tears blurring the road. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat at my kitchen table, the same one where Marcus used to do homework while I cooked dinner after double shifts, and made a list. Every dollar I'd given him over the years, every sacrifice. $8,000 for his first car after college, $5,000 when Tasha lost her job during pregnancy, $12,000 to help with the wedding,
countless smaller amounts, birthdays, emergencies, just until payday, and now the big one, $25,000 for this house. Total coming close to $70,000 over 15 years. $70,000 I'd scrimped for, packing lunches, wearing the same coat for a decade, skipping vacations, saying no to little treats so my only child would never want. And for what? To be called difficult behind my back? To be excluded from the house I made possible? By the morning, something shifted inside me. Not rage, something colder, clearer. Resolve.
I showered, put on my good navy dress, the one I save for funerals and weddings, and drove to the bank. Mrs. Ramirez, the branch manager who'd known me for 20 years, met me in her office. "Miss Dolores," she said, concerned. "Everything all right?" "I need to make some changes," I told her calmly, starting with removing Marcus as beneficiary on all my accounts. She didn't blink, just nodded and pulled up the forms. Next, I called the insurance company and requested the full surrender of the annuity. They warned me about penalties, taxes. I told them I understood. The check arrived 3 days later. While I waited, I started planning. First, I met with a lawyer, a sharp young black woman named Alicia Carter, whose office smelled of vanilla candles and determination. I told her everything, showed her the list of transfers, the closing documents where my money had clearly gone toward the down payment. "Georgia law recognizes equitable interests," she explained. "You may have a claim against the property itself, a lien, perhaps, for your contribution, but it would mean suing your son." I thought about that, thought about dragging my grandbabies through court, about Christmas dinners that would never happen. In the end, I decided against it. Some battles aren't worth the collateral damage. "Change my will instead," I said. "Everything goes to charity, specifically organizations helping elderly women who've been financially exploited by their family." Alicia didn't judge, just took notes. Over the next weeks, I moved quietly through my new reality. I joined the senior center downtown, the one I'd always meant to visit but never had time. Took a watercolor class on Tuesdays, a line dancing class on Thursdays, made friends with women who'd lived full lives and weren't done yet. Ruth, who traveled solo to Italy at 75, Gloria, who started a catering business at 68. They welcomed me like I'd always belonged. I bought myself things I'd denied for years. A new coat, soft camel hair that felt like luxury against my skin. Real leather shoes that didn't pinch. Tickets to see Alvin Ailey when they came to town. And I stopped answering Marcus's calls. At first, they were casual. "Hey, Mama, just checking in." Then worried. "Mama, are you okay? You haven't answered in days." Then frantic. "Mama, please call me. I'm worried sick." On the 10th day, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find Marcus standing there, looking thinner than I'd seen him in years. Tasha hovered behind him in the hallway, arms crossed. "Mama," he started, voice cracking. "Thank God, we thought something happened to you." "Come in," I said, calm, composed. They sat on my couch like strangers. Marcus kept reaching for my hand. I kept it in my lap. "What's going on?" he asked. "Why haven't you been answering?" I looked at him, really looked. My beautiful boy, all grown up with worry lines around his eyes. "I was at your house last week," I began quietly. "Door was open. I heard everything." His face changed, color drained, then rushed back. "Mama, you gave my garden room to Miss Evelyn, said I fuss too much, that I'm better off alone in my apartment, that you deserve peaceful." Tasha opened her mouth, then closed it. "I paid for that house, Marcus. $25,000 I can never replace. Money my daddy and I saved for our old age, and you decided I don't belong there." "Mama, it wasn't like that. We were just figuring things out. Temporary. Miss Evelyn's only staying until—" "Until what?"
Until I'm safely out of the way? Silence. I pulled the envelope from the side table, the one with the returned check, slid it across the coffee table. This came back undeposited, the surrender check from the annuity. I decided to keep it. Marcus stared at it like it might bite him. I also changed my will. When I go, whatever's left goes to help women who've been used up and tossed aside by their children. Women like me. Tasha made a small sound. "Mama, please," Marcus whispered. "Don't do this. We're family." Family doesn't overhear themselves being erased from the future they paid for. He started crying then, big, shoulder-shaking sobs that took me straight back to when he was 8 and his daddy left us. My heart twisted, but I didn't move to comfort him. "I love you. I'll always love you. But love isn't a blank check. Not anymore." "What do you want?" Tasha asked suddenly, voice sharp. "Money? You want us to pay you back?" I almost laughed. "I want respect. I want to matter. But I can't make you give me that, so I'm giving it to myself." Marcus looked up, eyes red. "Can we fix this?" "Maybe, but not today. Today, I need you to leave." They stood slowly. At the door, Marcus turned back. "The garden room. It's yours, Mama, whenever you want it." I shook my head. I don't want it anymore. After they left, I sat for a long time in the quiet. Then I picked up the phone and called Ruth.
"Girl," I said when she answered, "you still planning that cruise to Alaska next summer?" "You know I am. Save me a spot at your table." She whooped so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. That night, I hung my new coat in the closet and stood looking at my reflection. 71 years old, standing straight in good shoes, with money in the bank and plans on the horizon. The house with the garden room wasn't mine anymore, but something better was. This life I'd waited too long to claim. Months later, I got a letter from Marcus, real paper, in his handwriting. He wrote about the kids asking for Grandma Dolores, about how quiet the house felt sometimes, about starting a savings account labeled Mama's Money, where he and Tasha were putting $500 every month. He didn't ask for forgiveness, just told me he was trying to become the man I raised. I wrote back. Short note, told him I was proud he was trying, that I'd come for Sunday dinner when I was ready. I didn't mention that I'd already booked the Alaska cruise, or that I'd signed up for Spanish classes, or that Gloria and I were planning a road trip to New Orleans for Jazz Fest. Some things a mother keeps for herself. These days, I wake up to birdsong outside my apartment window. I drink my coffee on the balcony Robert built for me 30 years ago. I paint watercolors of places I've been and places I'm going. My fridge is covered with photos, not just of my grandbabies, though there are plenty, but of me laughing on a boat in Seattle, me dancing in a senior center gym, me standing in front of a glacier with Ruth and Gloria, arms around each other. Marcus comes by sometimes now, alone, brings the kids. We sit on that same balcony and talk, really talk, about his job, about my classes, about how hard it is to raise children right. He listens when I speak, doesn't rush to leave. The garden room still isn't mine, but I've planted containers on my balcony. Roses, lavender, herbs. Every morning I open my French doors, the ones Robert installed the year before he died, and step out into my own small paradise. It took 71 years and $25,000 to learn this truth. Home isn't always where your children are. Sometimes it's where you finally allow yourself to bloom. And Lord, these flowers smell sweet.